The asteroid didn't kill the dinosaurs. Not the way you picture it. In the first hour, something else does the killing. Something happening everywhere on Earth at the same time, thousands of miles from the crash site. The danger comes from above. 66 million years ago, the age of dinosaurs is in its final chapter. For over 160 million years, they've ruled the land. A shallow sea covers what's now Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Nothing on the surface has any warning. Then, an object enters the upper atmosphere. Scientists call it the Chicxulub impactor. It's almost certainly an asteroid, though that question has never been fully closed. It's roughly 6 miles wide, moving at 20 kilometers per second. That's 58 times the speed of sound. It hits the shallow sea, above the Yucatan at a steep angle. The angle of impact is estimated at between 45 and 60 degrees. The whole impact lasts just a few seconds. The asteroid effectively vaporizes on contact. The energy released is equal to 4.5 billion Hiroshima bombs firing at once. The crater that forms is 200 kilometers across and 30 kilometers deep. The crater's center sits mostly offshore, beneath the sea, one of the largest craters ever formed on this planet. Within 900 miles of the crash, the heat from the explosion arrives first. The heat arrives first, not the shock wave. Heat travels at the speed of light. Everything within 900 miles is gone before the sound even arrives. The ground directly beneath the strike doesn't crack. It melts and runs like liquid. Temperatures at the strike site reach hotter than the surface of the sun. 2.5 minutes after impact, a wall of water forms at the crash site. It rises nearly 3 miles into the air. Then it collapses almost immediately as the debris starts falling back. 10 minutes later, a wave over half a mile high is spreading outward from the impact, moving in every direction, across the ocean, toward every coastline on Earth. Above all of that, something else is already in motion. The impact has launched an enormous amount of material into the atmosphere. Tiny particles of rock, geologists later call them spherules, blasted upward at speed. Some of that material reaches orbit around the Earth. The impact throws up to 60 times its own mass into the sky. 60 times the mass of the rock that caused all of this. It's now circling above the planet. Gravity will pull it back down. All of it everywhere above the Earth at once. When those particles re-enter the atmosphere, friction heats them. Each one becomes a tiny superheated fragment falling through the air. There are billions of them. They're falling over every continent, every ocean, every point on the planet simultaneously. The sky, from horizon to horizon, everywhere on Earth, starts radiating heat downward. Not the warmth of sunlight. Something closer to a planetary oven. For somewhere between minutes and hours, temperatures at the surface spike. The exact duration is still debated, but the evidence of what happened is not. The sky is the weapon. Forests ignite spontaneously, not near the crater, but thousands of miles away. Animals in the open have nowhere to run. The killing isn't happening at the crash site. It's happening everywhere, from above, at the same time. That first hour's debris eventually settles. Geologists, working millions of years later, find those spherules worldwide. They're preserved in a thin layer of rock that encircles the entire globe, 1/10 of an inch thick. Every continent, every ocean basin, the same layer, the same thickness. This is the physical fingerprint of the first hour. Written in stone 66 million years ago, and still there today. Scientists can reconstruct the events of that day partly from this single layer. By the end of that first day, many of the dinosaurs on Earth are already dead. The first chapter of the extinction has been written in a single day. The rest of the extinction, the slow part, comes later. All that debris and dust in the atmosphere begins blocking the sun. Not for a few days. For months, then for years. Without sunlight, most plants on Earth die. Without plants, the animals that depend on them die. Then the animals that ate those animals die too. The whole food chain collapses. The dinosaurs, as a group, take thousands of years to fully disappear. The first hour wasn't the end of the extinction story. But for a vast amount of the life that experienced it, the first hour was everything. You started this video thinking an asteroid killed the dinosaurs. And it did, but the mechanism is something most people have never heard of. It wasn't the impact directly. It was what the impact launched into orbit. When that material re-entered the atmosphere, it did it, everywhere at once. The sky above every part of Earth began radiating heat downward. The air itself became the weapon. It didn't matter where you were. Thousands of miles from the crater, the same sky was above you. There was nowhere to run. The threat was coming from above, not from across the ground. The proof of all this is still there. A layer of rock, 1/10 of an inch thick, found on every continent. The fingerprint of a single hour, preserved in stone. The darkness, the years of blocked sunlight, the collapse of the food chain, that came after. The first hour was fire. The world has been through moments so extreme they leave marks in stone for 66 million years. That layer is still there, right now, somewhere beneath your feet. There's plenty more to uncover. See you in the next one.